Hey everybody, welcome to Ignition. Good to see you. And hey guys, we're getting close. Things are starting to loosen up, and soon maybe we'll be able to get back together. It's not too crazy of an idea anymore, at least outside. So we'll talk about that in just a second. But I'm excited to see you guys. I hope you like the new intro. Boy, that's a good-looking youth group, if you ask me. That's probably the most handsome I've ever seen it. Anyway, good to see you guys for this online youth group version that we're going to do today. We got it's harder to play games and stuff, but nonetheless, we're gonna plow on. And as a matter of fact, stay ready though, because the second that we're back here, you know that Raina has been working on her game nonstop, and she just is bloodthirsty. She wants victory so bad. So stay in peak performance so that you're ready. Anyway, we got a couple of things to talk about real quick. Speaking of games, we actually have a, what do you call it, a video game tournament getting set up by Royce. Check it out. Royce, you got something to tell us, right?
Howdy y'all, we're getting about ready to host a tournament this Friday, June 5th at 5 p.m. It's going to be in the game Fistful of Frags, which is totally free on Steam. We'll have links and stuff for how to get set up, but just get in the Steam group and post on the wall and we'll have your name down. There's $100 in gift cards in the prize pot, so I don't think you're going to want to miss it. And if you don't want to play and you just want to watch, it's going to be streamed live on our Twitch. So definitely, we better see you there.
Wowie zowie, that's a lot of money. So if there's only going to be a few people playing the game, you should get on. And it's not that hard. I know you guys are all nerds and better at this stuff than me. But get on Steam. If you don't have Steam, again, it's free. We're going to play this game, whatever he called it, Fractured Frag, something like that. But get on Steam and then join our Steam group. We'll go to the slide here, and it should have all the information that you need. But join that Steam group, and then you can see that we've also got a Twitch there as well, so that anybody can watch, anyone can participate. It's open to anybody and everybody, and it's going to be lots of fun and mayhem, and it's coming up real quick. That's the 5th, I believe, so just a few days away. So if you have any questions, go ahead and comment below, or when we get into Zoom groups, ask somebody there, get it to Royce. You can send it to afterlifeguard@gmail.com. But one way or another, ask us and just do it. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. And speaking of youth group, we may be able to do like a kickoff summer barbecue. So since we're allowed to stay outside and do like 100 people or less, if everybody's socially distancing, then we might just do a good old-fashioned meet and greet, since we haven't seen each other in so long. So look for that. We'll talk about it soon. If you're up for it, again, tell me. I haven't heard anything. You guys have all gone dark. Yell at me. Put it in the comments. Text it to me. Whatever it is. But let me know that you guys are alive and you guys want to get back here. So if that's you, then hopefully we'll see you soon, and I'll get it set up faster than we can possibly imagine. And then also we got a lot of opportunity now too to get worship going again. So if you're on the worship team or you want to be on the worship team, also let me know, because we're going to start that little machine up working so that we can do some online stuff, but maybe also just start practicing for when it's time to kick things off. We want to have a big old bash and do it right. So that'll be fun. If you want to record something, let me know. If you want to just practice and see how things go, let me know that as well. And in case you forgot how fun it was, let's watch a couple worship videos and sing along. Okay, ready? Go. crazy how it feels like that was like 10,000 years ago and you were all so young, and it's just not that long ago. I mean, that's just, wow. Time flies, don't it? Speaking of, also, time flying, we got some old Better Know Us students that I've been threatening you with. So until you start chatting back at me, I'm gonna show one of these every single week. So check this out. This episode of Better Know a Student is brought to you by Twist Up. Twist Up, the drink for Savannahs everywhere.
You can buy it at your local dollar store. I don't know.
Better know a student.
All right, so for everybody who doesn't know who you are, will you please tell us your name and what grade you're going into?
I'm Savannah Lee, and I'm a sophomore now.
Are you excited for sophomore year?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, what are you most excited for?
The school play, plural.
What plays are you gonna be in?
Well, all I know is Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, that's as though it were designed just for you.
Yeah, I know.
Would you rather have an extra arm or an extra leg?
Extra arm.
Why?
What if you had to like buy jeans?
Touche. That's a good point.
They're already expensive enough.
What was that? Sounded like a baby dinosaur being born. But it was not normal.
It was like a wet one.
What's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Don't mess up. Don't embarrass yourself.
Don't embarrass
Which
yourself.
I'm like super good at.
At not embarrassing yourself?
No, at embarrassing myself.
I know, that's clear. Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings?
Haven't seen either of them.
I can't stand you.
I wouldn't. Little Heather didn't let me watch Harry Potter when I was
Little Heather?
My mom,
Why do you call her Little Heather?
because she's little and she doesn't answer to mom, so Little Heather.
Fair enough. All right. If you had to eat a piece of furniture, what would you eat and why?
Probably eat a lamp. It's like a variety. There's like some fabric and some metal and some wire and some glass.
Oh, that's good. And if you're on a diet, it's light. Yeah! Come on! What are you known for?
Very loud.
Really?
I sing a lot and it can be annoying. Actually, it is annoying. I even annoy myself.
Oh.
And also, like, a little hick.
Well, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Probably something that has to do with music. Like, even like a middle school choir teacher. That sounds so fun. I want to be a choir teacher, but not for like middle schoolers, like high schoolers, because middle schoolers don't listen. I'll make them listen.
Oh my.
Or like one of those like trick shooters, like that get paid a bunch of money to go like shoot in competitions. That's
Like with
fun.
guns.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched the show Top Shot?
No, my dad did. My dad did. No. No.
Okay. So until next time, we will see you later.
Twist it up.
My name's Savannah, but you could call me anytime.
Wow. Get out of town. You're fired. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Better know a student.
Man, you guys have grown so much. As have I, as have we all to some degree. But man, it's not enough, right? Being in this crazy time right now, which I'm sure everybody is talking about, and this is going to be one of those things that you talk about probably with your kids for the rest of your life, because we are in an insanely tumultuous time, what with the coronavirus, the murder hornets, and now the riots, and I mean, and the everything that's going on is just nuts, and it's a fantastic dialogue to get going, to help us to understand how much that we have grown in our understanding and our knowledge about stuff. And so today, actually, I wanted to talk a little bit about why we are who we are and how we get to be who we are. And so let me ask you this: have you guys ever heard of nature versus nurture? Have you heard of environment versus genetics? Have you heard the external versus the internal? Because both sides determine what we do, You know, it's our instinctual response, and then there's our learned response. Each one of us has these two sides. And it's a fascinating idea that creates your identity and who you are. And I just had this random thought, and I don't know why, because it's one of my favorite books, but I thought we should go through the book of James in the Bible and just kind of use that as a lens to explore some of these concepts. And so if you haven't read James before, it's just a short little book, and it moves quick. But it clarifies really, really big stuff. And I kind of like to think of it as like gospel notes. Like it abridges so much stuff, and it deals with really big concepts, but it just kind of like in a very relatable, conversational, brotherly way. And it has my absolute favorite opening ever of any book. It says, right off in the second verse, it says, "My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into various trials." Okay, we're getting right into it then. We're tackling the rough stuff, man. This is suffering. And this is huge because it's one of the hurdles in human belief. One of the biggest questions that people ask, one of the biggest arguments for atheists is, why do bad things happen? It's also called the problem of suffering. We've talked about this a few times because I think it's fascinating. Because the basic argument is, isn't God loving? Isn't your Christian God a loving and perfect God? And isn't he omnipotent? Because if he is, why on earth does anybody experience anything but joy? Why is there so much suffering and pain in the world? Well, James gives us the short answer right in that next verse. The short answer goes something like, be happy when you fall into various trials. Why? Well, he goes on, knowing that the testing of your faith produces patience. But let patience have its perfect work, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. Testing produces. That's what it's good for. God reveals truths through trials. And we know how that works. It's not a foreign thought to us. You ever heard the expression, test your mettle? We know that. It's like kind of like see what you're made of, right? And we do that by turning up the heat, putting it through a furnace. That's what shows when we say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Well, that's a test to identify the tough. When it gets tough, the tough get going, so we know who they are. Well, and subsequently, we know who the weak are. The tough get going, the not so tough don't get so going. You see, because the basic idea is I would never know if I was strong unless there was something heavy for me to lift. And that thing that is there is an opportunity. It's something for my strength to manifest, something to reveal how strong I am. You would just never know unless you had some way to put it into practice. I'd never know I was good until I had an opportunity to reject evil. I mean, I could be good, but I wouldn't know it. The way that I can understand is when it manifests. And so the environment, the half of the equation that determines who we are, and the environment is this whole world, everything that you interact with that's around you. The environment here is a trials machine. This environment produces limitless and unique situations. And I think we should just stop and think about that miracle across billions and billions of people and quadrillions of minutes. Every single person has been granted this unique moment as an opportunity to react that no one has ever had before. Every single day you get those, and that's insane. That's the way that this place was built. It's cool. It's cool. Okay, I love it so much. But every single situation, every single one of these unique and completely different situations has an effect on you in some way. And some situations are what we call trials or suffering or pain. Some of the situations that this place can create are difficulties for us. And the interesting, none of us have not had them, but all trials, all suffering, everything can be reduced to a simple little question that you can ask yourself. If there's suffering in your life, it stems from one or both of two reasons. And it's either your actions or your understanding. That's it. It sounds very broad, but it works. It's true. Because if your actions aren't synced with truth, then they don't work good. And that's a trial that produces pain and suffering. And if they are synced and things are going well and you just don't understand it and you can't see how they're synced up, then that too creates conflict or difficulty, and that feels like a trial. So for instance, like let's take a heart attack, right? That's a negative. Let's say the heart attack trial. Well, that may result from your only McDonald's actions. If you live a life where that's what you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that may be your actions that are causing that trial. But then there's things that are less, A to B, and like say depression, something we're all also familiar with. That depression trial, that may result from your I'm totally alone and no one understands me misunderstanding. Because it's not true, it's your understanding that's off. And so when you feel that conflict, when you feel that trial, arising, again, it's from understanding or your actions. But every situation and trial is a beautiful setup from God, because they are opportunities to produce truth. That's what we said before, right? I mean, testing produces truth. And when you have truth, when you come into contact, when you learn, when you manifest truth like that through these situations, it grows your understanding. And meeting or confronting or engaging or just enduring the suffering or the trials, when you meet them head on, you will inevitably be driven toward the resolution, which is a change in the action or understanding. One of those two things is off, and somehow if you just engage it, you can deduce what thing is off. Which is why in James it goes on and says, if anybody lacks wisdom to see the value and ability of these trials, well, just ask God. That's how this works. You got to ask God, and then you don't just ask God, willy-nilly hoping, crossing your fingers and going to bed and hoping that you just wake up with it. No, you ask God in trust, in complete and total faith. You ask God, assuming that He is the God who He says He is, fully believing that somehow there is a way for everything to make sense. You say, I know that this trial is a result of either my action that needs correction or my understanding that needs correction. And so if I ask God and I say, hey, I need to get over this, reveal to me which it is and how we get past that. Boy, oh boy, does He answer that one. And He gives you the opportunity for action or understanding that you need to clarify things. This chapter just goes on to talk about the sort of finer points of how you ask God, that relationship, about how you be you be doers of the word that they say. You do the things that you know you need to do. You take the steps because that's how you correct this stuff. And again, the heart that you approach God with to make that work. You can't have one foot in, one foot out. No double-minded man who's ready to just listen to this one, that one, but you just stay focused on it. You trust the process. You know that God's in there, and you ask Him how He is, and then you listen with an open heart. And you do all those things. And you learn to love. You learn to count it as joy that your environment is so uncontrollable and full of trials. Because once again, this time is probably, this is going to be a historic time for all of us, where you just get so many situations that are just completely unique, that we've never experienced before, and they are huge. They're very profound, which means that they give you very, very profound opportunities to express your heart, and in that expression to ask God what's going on here, to understand it, to see where your understanding or your actions need to be corrected. So we're going to break into groups here, but what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to just go over these three questions, which is, first, I want you to think of a time, a situation, a trial in your life that you didn't choose, but that had an impact on your life. And I want you to talk about how that had an impact on your life. And then two, I want you to ask, how else could somebody have responded to those events? Because things have happened in your life and you've had an opportunity to go one of two ways, and you did something, but how else could you have responded to those events? Do you regret something? Could you have done something differently? And then 3, how could those events change a person's actions or understanding? Based on maybe how you did handle them and what happened, or what could have happened, but how could they change your action or understanding, and in a positive way? So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wrap things up here. I'm gonna sign off, and we're going to send you over into Zoom groups. You guys all have the Zoom link. As a matter of fact, let's see if I'm so fancy that I can somehow say it's in the comments or on screen, something. Look for it around here, but otherwise it's on the Facebook page. And get on the Zoom groups, and I want you guys to just go over these 3 questions with each other. And again, let me know if you guys are up for the possible barbecue, the video game tournament that's coming up. But whatever it is, do something, get up, get moving, stay safe, be smart, and involve God in every single thing that you're doing. Ask Him what is going on and what you should be doing. And I guarantee we're going to start making the progress that we're supposed to be making down here. So love you guys. See you guys soon. And goodbye.